My people, my people, my people, my people, what's good? It's your boy DWILK, and we are now tuned back into the DWILK experience. Listen, we got something crazy today. We got the most notorious criminals explained in 19 minutes. Without any further ado, let's jump right in it.
Billy the Kid, born Henry McCarty in 1859, New York City, became a legendary outlaw in the American Old West.
I've heard of
He
Billy the
grew
Kid
up in
before.
poverty, moving to the New Mexico Territory after his father's death and his mother's remarriage. Orphaned by age 14, he turned to petty theft and later more serious crimes to survive. Known for his charm and wit, he earned a reputation as both a pleasant person but also a cold-blooded killer. Billy's criminal career escalated during the Lincoln County War in New Mexico, which started in 1878, and this was a violent conflict between rival economic factions vying for control of local resources. He sided with a group called the Regulators.
Regulators! Mount up. Now, what I was about to say is, bro, you know how gangster you gotta be to be on the back of a horse with a shotgun. And now this was back in the day before they had, what they got nowadays, bro. So they had a I hope that don't look wrong. Please, I hope that don't look it's all right. But yeah, bro, think about it. You know how crazy you gotta be to shoot at somebody riding a horse and they shooting back at you, bro. And this is back in the time where medical wasn't even like that, bro. Like if you got shot, even if you got shot in the arm, bro, your shit get amputated, or you dead.
A posse seeking justice for the killing of a rancher. The conflict became more brutal as time went on, and Billy became infamous for his role in numerous shootouts. Historians attribute at least 8 to 12 killings to Billy, though some accounts are exaggerated by folklore. Billy specialized in cattle rustling, robbery, and gunfights, earning notoriety for his audacity, including a daring escape from jail where he killed 2 deputies.
Woo!
Despite being vilified by law enforcement, he was admired by some for his rebelliousness and survival skills in a harsh environment. He was captured and sentenced to hang in 1881, but escaped once again before being tracked down and killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett in Fort Sumner, New Mexico on July 14, 1881 at the age of 21. Billy the Kid's life left a
Damn. Bro was at the bro was a white end in the 1800s, bro. He was a white end. Damn.
lasting impact on American culture, and his story inspired countless books, movies, and songs, shaping the romanticized view of the Wild West. Charles Ponzi was born on March 3rd, 1882
Now,
in Luke.
I think, cause I've heard a Ponzi scheme before, so I think maybe he's the reason the Ponzi scheme is a thing. Let's find out.
Italy, and he became one of history's most infamous con artists. Growing up in a modest family, Ponzi received an education at the University of Rome, but wasted opportunities with the lavish lifestyle. In 1903, he immigrated to the United States, seeking fortune, but soon fell into a life of fraud. Ponzi is best known for orchestrating the Ponzi scheme, a fraudulent
I told y'all,
investment-
I knew it. Oh, I knew it.
operation. His scam revolved around exploiting the price differences in international postal reply coupons, which he claimed could yield enormous profits when exchanged across countries. In reality, Ponzi was not investing money, but using funds from new investors to pay returns to earlier investors, creating the illusion of success. By 1920, Ponzi's scheme had attracted tens of thousands of investors, promising returns of 50% in 45 days, or 100% in 90 days. At its peak, he collected approximately $15 million, which would be equivalent to over $200 million today. However, his
Then, boy, he was out there chasing the chicken, boy.
operation collapsed under scrutiny, revealing no actual investments backing his claims. Ponzi defrauded an estimated 40,000 investors,
Damn.
and he was convicted of mail fraud in 1920, serving prison sentences in both the United States and Italy. He died as a poor man in 1949 in Brazil, with his impact being significant as his name became synonymous with pyramid-style financial fraud. The Ponzi scheme remains a well-known tale in finance, and his story highlights the dangers of greed and the vulnerabilities in unregulated investment systems.
And you know who used to do the Ponzi schemes? All you Forex motherfuckers out there, bro. All you people that used to do Forex, you wanna know? I got sucked into that Forex shit in college, bro. And when I first heard of Forex, I'm like, wait a minute, all I do is trade on an app and I make money? No, I ain't gonna lie. The app itself, the like foreign exchange, is not a scam. The actual people who was over the different groups and all that, they were the ones scamming, bro.
Charles Lucky Luciano, born Salvatore Lucania on November 24, 1897, in Sicily, Italy, became one of the most influential figures in organized crime in the 20th century. His family immigrated to New York City when he was 9, settling in the poverty-stricken Lower East Side. Struggling in school, Luciano gravitated towards street gangs and petty crime, eventually joining the 5 Points Gang, a notorious criminal organization. He earned the nickname Lucky after surviving a brutal gang attack which left him scarred. By the 1920s, he became a leading figure in bootlegging during Prohibition, partnering with figures like Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel. His innovation was restructuring the mafia into a corporate-style organization, forming the National Crime Syndicate and the Commission, a governing body to mediate disputes and manage criminal enterprises across the United States. In 1931, he orchestrated the death of his boss, Joe Masseria, and rival, Salvatore Maranzo, solidifying his power and marking the end of the Castellamarese War, a violent mafia conflict. He then modernized organized crime by focusing on illegal gambling, extortion, and narcotics while minimizing inter-gang warfare. In 1936, he was convicted of running a prostitution ring and sentenced to 30 to 50 years. However,
you know one thing that has been selling ever since the beginning of time? An old man once said this: you can go anywhere in the world, and there's two things that will always have value: sex and guns. You could drop somebody off with sex and guns on any continent in this world. Probably not Antarctica, but who knows? You don't never know who down there. You don't know what down there. You don't know what. Never mind, it's a different topic for a different day. But yeah, you put somebody in a continent, long as they can sell sex and guns, they will forever have a way to make money. That's just a fact. That's been around, bro, since damn near the beginning of time, bro.
During World War II, his connections helped United States naval intelligence secure New York ports, leading to him being released and deported to Italy in 1946, where he continued to influence organized crime globally until his death from a heart attack on January 26, 1962. Lucky Luciano reorganized the mafia into a national powerhouse, shaping the criminal underworld for decades, with him being viewed as one of the most influential figures in organized crime. Al Capone, born Alphonse Gabriel Capone on January 17, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York, became one of America's most infamous gangsters. The son of Italian immigrants, Capone grew up in a rough neighborhood and dropped out of school at 14 after assaulting a teacher. He joined local
I'm sorry. I should have left it there. I'm sorry. I apologize for my outbursts.
5 Points Gang, where he learned the criminal trade and earned the nickname Scarface after being slashed in a bar fight. Capone moved to Chicago in the 1920s, working under mob boss Johnny Torrio before taking over his organization in 1925. Capone built a criminal empire specializing in bootlegging, gambling, prostitution, and extortion during Prohibition. Known as the Chicago Outfit, his organization controlled much of Chicago's illicit activity, generating millions in revenue and employing ruthless methods to eliminate competition. Capone is linked to several violent events, most notoriously the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929, where 7 rival gang members were gunned down. While the exact number of killings ordered or committed by Capone is uncertain, he is believed to be responsible for dozens of deaths. Despite his violent reputation, Capone cultivated a public image as a benefactor, donating to charities and helping the poor. However, his reign ended in 1931 when he was convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Released in 1939 due to health issues, including syphilis-induced dementia, Capone lived in Florida until his death on January 25, 1947. Al Capone is known for helping establish organized crime as a real threat in America, especially during Prohibition, and he is a major reason why the FBI was founded. His legacy continues on, especially through books, documentaries.
You know what's crazy? I used to read some books about Al Capone, especially like I used to be in, for some reason, like when I was in like middle school, like gangster stuff, like Godfather and stuff like that used to always intrigue me. And I read about Al Capone, bro. Like if you do your research, it's crazy that they couldn't find him guilty but for tax fraud. That's literally the only thing they could take him in for was tax fraud. Hey, that boy's good.
and films. Meyer Lansky was born on July 4th, 1902, in Grodno, Russian Empire, which is now Belarus, and he became one of the most influential figures in organized crime during the 20th century. His family immigrated to the United States in 1911, settling in New York City's Lower East Side. Growing up in poverty, Lansky showed intelligence and discipline, qualities that later set him apart in the criminal underworld. Lansky began his criminal career with childhood friends Bugsy Siegel and Lucky Luciano. Together, they formed alliances that would shape the foundation of organized crime in America. Lansky was instrumental in creating the National Crime Syndicate, and unlike many gangsters of his era, he avoided public attention and preferred to work behind the scenes, focusing on financial management and strategy. He specialized in illegal gambling, money laundering, bootlegging during Prohibition, and later expanded his operations internationally, including in Cuba. Lansky's financial acumen earned him the nickname the mob's accountant, and he played a key role in building casinos and laundering criminal profits. Though not directly tied to violent crimes, Lansky's operations were supported by violent enforcement carried out by associates. Lansky avoided major criminal convictions despite multiple investigations and was never definitively tied to killing anyone. He retired to Miami, but faced legal troubles in his later years, and he eventually died of lung cancer on January 15, 1983, leaving behind a legacy as a master organizer and being recognized as a figure that helped globalize.
He died right at the start of the cocaine era,
John
boy.
Dillinger was born on June 22, 1903, in Indianapolis, Indiana, and he became one of America's most infamous criminals during the Great Depression. Raised in a middle-class family, Dillinger experienced a strict and often punitive upbringing from his father. Rebellious and prone to trouble, he dropped out of school and began associating with local delinquents. He joined the US Navy, but that quickly ended in desertion, and he soon turned to crime. Dillinger initially served time in prison for a failed robbery attempt, during which he befriended hardened criminals who taught him how to commit crimes. Upon his release in 1933, he quickly escalated to leading a gang responsible for a string of daring bank robberies across the Midwest. Dillinger became notorious for his audacity using...
First of all, bank robberies, I feel like that bank robberies, like the way that bank robberies is talked about like in the 1920s, 1930s, it seemed like everybody mama was robbing banks back in the day, bro. Bro, you try to rob a bank nowadays, bro, you won't even get probably in there 2 minutes without them hitting the secret alarm. And unless you are a top of the line criminal, bro, there's no way you can walk in the bank nowadays and say, "Give me all your money. Give me all your money." Bro, in about 5 minutes, the police are going to be out there, or if they're not out there, they're going to catch up to you, bro. Bro, technology is too crazy nowadays. I would not advise anybody to rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it.
Running tactics,
only in GTA.
Speed getaways, and an arsenal of stolen weapons. His gang's violent heist often resulted in fatalities, and Dillinger was linked to at least 10 deaths, though the exact number of victims remains unclear. Dillinger's celebrity status grew due to his charisma and the public's resentment of financial institutions during the Depression. Despite his violent methods, he was romanticized as a Robin Hood figure, and his criminal exploits embarrassed law enforcement, especially after several high-profile escapes from jail, including one using a wooden gun. His downfall came on July 22nd.
A wooden gun? Wait, hold on. I know they just didn't say what I was thinking you said.
Escapes from jail, including one using a wooden gun.
First of all, who was the officers on duty that fell for that? Bruh, you fell for a wooden gun? He might have well just put his hand in his shirt and did one of these, bruh. And just like, I'm leaving. Y'all ain't stopping me. You got stopped by a wooden gun, bro. I would have smacked that out of his hand, bro. Like, go back to your cell, man. Quit playing with me, bro.
His downfall came on July 22nd, 1934, when the FBI tracked him to Chicago. Dillinger was ambushed and killed outside the Biograph Theater and being betrayed by an informant. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, known as Bonnie and Clyde, were a criminal duo.
I heard of Bonnie and Clyde before.
During the Great Depression for their string of robberies, killings, and daring escapes. Bonnie was born on October 1st, 1910 in Rowena, Texas, and grew up in poverty after her father's death. She was a bright student with dreams of becoming a writer or actress, and she married young but became disillusioned with her life. Clyde, born on March 24, 1909 in Ellis County, Texas, also grew up poor. He turned to petty crime as a teenager, progressing to more serious offenses. The two met in 1930 and soon became inseparable, embarking on a violent crime spree across the central United States. They specialized in robbing banks, small businesses, and gas stations, often targeting rural areas. Their gang, sometimes called the Barrow Gang, included accomplices like Clyde's brother, Buck Barrow, and his wife, Blanche. Their escapades were marked by frequent shootouts with law enforcement, leading to the deaths of at least 13 people, including 9 police officers. Bonnie and Clyde's ability to evade capture for years, combined with their romantic partnership, captured public fascination. Media coverage portrayed them as both dangerous criminals and tragic anti-heroes, and their crime spree ended on May 23, 1934, when they were ambushed and killed by law enforcement near Gippsland, Louisiana. The ambush was brutal, with their car being filled with over 100 bullets. Bonnie and Clyde's legacy endured as symbols of rebellion against authority during a time—
Damn, bro, look at that car, bro. Police said, let it ring. Let it ring. Nah, run it back.
economic hardship. Their story has inspired countless films, books, and songs, cementing their place in American folklore. Whitey Bulger, born James Joseph Bulger Jr. on September 3, 1929, in Boston, Massachusetts, was a notorious American gangster who led the Winter Hill Gang, a powerful crime syndicate in South Boston, during the late 20th century. Known for his brutality and ability to evade capture, Bulger became one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives. He grew up in a working-class Irish-American neighborhood, and his early years were marked by petty crimes, leading him into a life of delinquency. By his teens, he was involved in theft and gang activity, eventually graduating to more severe offenses. After serving time in Alcatraz and other prisons, Bulger returned to Boston, becoming a dominant figure in organized crime. His criminal enterprises included extortion, drug trafficking, loan sharking, and killings. Bulger was also an FBI informant, using his position to eliminate rivals while avoiding prosecution, with this being a controversial relationship that later embarrassed the FBI. He is believed to be responsible for, or connected to, at least 19 deaths, although the full extent of his violence remains debated. Bulger's dual life unraveled in the mid-1990s, where he fled Boston after being tipped off about an impending indictment. He remained a fugitive for 16 years, living under aliases until his arrest in 2011 in Santa Monica, California. In 2013, he was convicted of 31 counts, including involvement in killings, racketeering, and money laundering, being sentenced to life in prison. Bulger's life ended violently on October 30th, 2018, where he was beaten to death by inmates at a West Virginia prison. His story highlights corruption with law enforcement and has inspired numerous books, films, and TV shows. Bernie Madoff, born Bernard Lawrence Madoff,
I've heard of Bernie Madoff before.
29th, 1938,
I never know what he did though.
New York, was an American financier, infamous for orchestrating the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Raised in a middle-class Jewish family, he exhibited early ambition, working as a lifeguard and sprinkler installer to fund his education. He graduated from Hofstra University with a degree in political science and founded Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities in 1960. Initially operating as a legitimate market maker, Madoff gained prominence in the financial world, even serving as chairman of NASDAQ. However, behind the scenes, he was running a massive Ponzi scheme, using money from new investors to pay returns to earlier investors. Promising steady, high returns, Madoff attracted an extensive clientele, including charities, pension funds, and wealthy individuals. The scheme unraveled during the 2008 financial crisis, when a wave of withdrawal requests exposed Madoff's inability to meet obligations. He confessed to his sons, who reported him to authorities, and in December 2008, Madoff was arrested, with him pleading guilty in 2009 to 11 federal felonies. His fraud was estimated at $64.8 billion.
Woo! Damn! Wait, run that back. How much?
Federal felonies. His fraud was estimated at $64.8 billion in client accounts, though the actual losses were around 17.5.
Bro, 64.8 bill? 64.8 billion, bruh. Look, I have never done a crime in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't plan on doing crime anytime soon or in the future. You know what I'm saying? However, if I'm going to go to jail, I'm not going to go to jail for a violent crime. I'm not going to go to jail for hurting anybody. I'm going to jail for some white collar shit like this, bruh. Again, I don't plan on going to jail in the future because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a law-abiding citizen. If you listen to the FBI, CIA, NSA, you know, anybody, I'm a law-abiding citizen. But I'm going to say, if you're going to be a criminal, you got to be a white-collar criminal, bro. Don't be out here hurting anybody. $64.8 billion? Damn.
Billion. Over 37,000 victims were identified worldwide, with some losing their life savings. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, and he died.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna keep it all the way band with you. I'm gonna keep it the whole way band with you, bro. If you got 100+ years, you know what? Let me not say that. Let's move forward. I'm about to say something that's crazy. I'll move forward.
April 14th, 2021, at the age of 82, in a federal prison in North Carolina. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, born on December 1st, 1949, in Rio Negro, Colombia, was one of the most notorious drug lords in history. Known as the leader of the Medellin cartel, Escobar grew up in a poor family and displayed entrepreneurial ambitions early, engaging in petty crimes like smuggling and theft before moving into the cocaine trade during the 1970s. Escobar's cartel dominated the global cocaine market, supplying an estimated 80% of the world's supply at its peak. His operations generated billions of dollars annually, earning him immense wealth and power. However, his criminal empire was built on violence and corruption, as he would orchestrate assassinations of politicians, judges, journalists, and police officers, with him also being responsible for bombings and massacres that claimed thousands of lives. While the exact number of victims is uncertain, his cartel is linked to the deaths of at least 4,000 people, but despite his brutality, he portrayed himself as a Robin Hood figure, funding housing projects, schools, and soccer fields for impoverished communities, which earned him a degree of local support. This duality made him both feared and admired in Colombia, and after evading authorities for years, Escobar surrendered in 1991 and was imprisoned in a luxurious self-built facility, but he escaped in 1992. A massive manhunt ensued, culminating in his death during a firefight with police on December 2nd, 1993. Escobar's impact was profound, shaping the global drug trade and leaving a legacy of violence and corruption in Colombia. The devastation he caused resulted in a spike of international efforts to combat drug trafficking and inspired countless books, films, and TV shows. Joaquin,
if you ain't never watched Narcos on Netflix, go watch Narcos on Netflix. Go watch it. It's a great series, bro. I like the first 3 seasons. I think the first 2 seasons about Pablo Escobar, and then I think season 3 is about the Cali cartel. It's a really great phenomenon. Now, I ain't gonna lie, 70% of the show is in Spanish. Put the subtitles on, but read the subtitles. It's a good show. It's a great show. It has American narrators. It's a great show. I learned a lot of information from that. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. Called Narcos. Go watch it.
El Chapo Guzman, born on April 4th, 1957, in La Tuna, a small village in Sinaloa, Mexico, is one of the most infamous drug lords in history. Raised in extreme poverty, Guzman endured a difficult childhood marked by abuse and a lack of formal education. He entered the drug trade as a teenager, working for cartels in the Sinaloa region and quickly rising through the ranks due to his resourcefulness and ruthlessness. Guzman became the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, a global drug trafficking organization responsible for smuggling vast quantities of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and marijuana into the United States and other countries. Under his leadership, the cartel used innovative methods such as underground tunnels to transport drugs while employing extreme violence to eliminate rivals and maintain power. The cartel's operations led to thousands of deaths in Mexico and beyond, although exact numbers are difficult to determine. El Chapo's notoriety also stemmed from his repeated escapes from prison. He first escaped in 2001 and remained at large until his capture in 2014. After being recaptured, he escaped again in 2015 through a tunnel dug beneath his cell, only to be apprehended in 2016. In 2017, he was extradited to the United States, where he was convicted on multiple charges, including drug trafficking and killings, being sentenced to life in prison in 2019. El Chapo's reign left a lasting impact on the drug trade and Mexico's ongoing battle with cartel violence. Today, he remains incarcerated in a U.S. supermax prison. Osama bin Laden, born on March 10, 1957, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was the founder and leader of Al-Qaeda, the organization responsible for the September 11, 2011 attacks on the United States. Born into a wealthy and prominent family, bin Laden had a privileged upbringing and studied economics and business administration. However, his religious and political beliefs radicalized during his youth, influenced by the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. Bin Laden joined the Afghan resistance during the 1980s, using his wealth and connections to fund and recruit fighters. This experience shaped his anti-Western ideology and inspired the creation of Al-Qaeda in 1988. Al-Qaeda targeted Western nations, particularly the United States, and were known for their military and political influence in the Middle East. The most infamous attack orchestrated by bin Laden was the fall of the Twin Towers, in which Al-Qaeda operatives hijacked 4 airplanes, crashing 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City, 1 into the Pentagon, and 1 in Pennsylvania after passengers intervened. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, with this being one of the deadliest terror attacks in history. Al-Qaeda also claimed responsibility for bombings at U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania in 1998 and the USS Cole in 2000. Following these major attacks, bin Laden became the target of a massive international manhunt. He was killed on May 2, 2011, during a U.S. Navy SEAL operation in Pakistan. Bin Laden's actions profoundly impacted global geopolitics, leading to the United States-led war on terror, invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and heightened global security measures. His ideology and tactics inspired extremist groups worldwide. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you learned something, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts on anything I discussed in this video.
Hey man, shout out to buddy YouTube. Go give him a follow. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all again. Love y'all.